Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. The debt we owe to the play of imagination is incalculable. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. Often the hands will solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain. It all depends on how we look at things, and not how they are in themselves. Great talents are the most lovely and often the most dangerous fruits on the tree of humanity. They hang upon the most slender twigs that are easily snapped off. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. The rational attitude which permits us to declare objective values as valid at all is not the work of the individual subject, but the product of human history. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. Nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment and especially on their children than the unlived life of the parent. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. To me, dreams are part of nature, which harbors no intention to deceive but expresses something as best it can. The capacity for directed thinking I call intellect. The capacity for passive or undirected thinking I call intellectual intuition. Sometimes, indeed, there is such a discrepancy between the genius and his human qualities that one has to ask oneself whether a little less talent might not have been better. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves. Creative powers can just as easily turn out to be destructive. It rests solely with the moral personality. Whether they apply themselves to good things or to bad. And if this is lacking, no teacher can supply it or take its place. That which compels us to create a substitute for ourselves is not the external lack of objects, but our incapacity to lovingly include a thing outside of ourselves. A special ability means a heavy expenditure of energy in a particular direction with a consequent drain from some other side of life. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved but only outgrown. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego, the second half is going inward and letting go of it. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Find out what a person fears most, and that is where he will develop next. The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. Man needs difficulties, they are necessary for health. Nobody can fall so low unless he has a great depth. In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. Nobody, as long as he moves about among the chaotic currents of life, is without trouble. Mistakes are, after all, the foundations of truth, and if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. Faith, hope, love, and insight are the highest achievements of human effort. They are found given by experience.